Welcome to Tuazama Universal Leadership Academy. My name is Rustam Muftahov. I'm a project manager with over 5 years of experience. I have a master's degree in engineering project management from Manchester University, and I also have a Prince 2 certification in project management. Last time we covered advanced project management techniques such as Agile and Scrum, and we talked about risks. Now we're continuing to explore advanced project management methodologies, and we're going to start with portfolio management essentials. What is a portfolio? Well, basically, if you are working in a large organization that has the necessity to manage several projects at once, in some organizations there can be tens or even hundreds of projects, there needs to be a system to align the projects between each other, make sure that there are no conflicts between them, and that overall they can work in synergy and bring a strategic value to the company. The most common way to divide project is in 3 steps. There is an individual project. Projects that go and pursue the common goal are often referred to as programs, and overall, a whole list of projects of an organization is referred to as portfolio. Of course, based on the size of the company and the amount of projects that you manage, this 3-tier system can change, and for example, you can just skip the programs and just manage individual projects and a portfolio. And this is the case we're going to explore today. What is essential to portfolio management? It is essential to ensure strategic alignment of your projects, that all the projects are up to date in your organization's strategic goals and objectives. For example, if you decide to close the expansion to a new market, you need to close down the projects that are regarding that, like economic appraisals or whatnot. Or, for example, if you want to shift to the other market, you want to make sure that your projects are redefined and refurbished for the new objectives that you have. Project selection. You need to make sure that your organization is up to date on what projects are essential right now, prioritize them, and appraise them necessarily to ensure the alignment with strategy and feasibility. Resource allocation. More often than not, projects require resources that are in the conflict with each other. By that, I mean, for example, you have one employee who has the expertise to manage several projects at once or to participate in several projects at once, and he is essential, he cannot be replaced. And resource allocation is about balancing this competing demand, making sure that the deadlines are met and the resources at your disposals are not in conflict. So like employee is not in like 5 projects at once beyond his capacity. It is okay if a person works at several projects at once. We just need to make sure that he's not overworked and it is beneficial for him and for the company. And performance monitoring, of course, using statistics, data, qualitative, quantitative tools and indicators to ensure that the performance of individual projects and the overall portfolio is up to date. Yeah, so when we're talking about strategic alignment, this is a very high level thing. Project managers in the first years of their career should not worry about that. Basically, they worry about individual projects at a time in large organizations. But if you are managing a portfolio as a whole, if you are a senior in your organization, you need to make sure that your organizational vision and mission is contributed to, that business objectives are pursued, and the strategic initiatives are supported by your project. When you are combining your portfolio, you need to make sure how do you decide which projects to include, which project to start. We covered the topic of different phases of the project and planning for the project, starting up a project and deciding if the project is worth pursuing. This is basically the same thing, but in the context of portfolio. You should add to your strategic plans, to your criteria for the project, alignment with strategy, market demand, and return on investment. Return on investment is a very simple and very useful tool. This is a basic economic appraisal that basically shows what is your return. For example, if you invest $1 million and you gain $2 million from this project, return on investment is going to be 100%, right? Return on investment is calculated by subtracting from the expected revenue your cost, dividing it by cost and multiplying by 100%, and this way you understand your return on investment. Resource capacity, project priorities, and resource optimization. This is a consideration of availability of resources, allocating resources based on the priority and criticality of projects. In a way, you can think about it the same way as about risks. You remember that we do not allocate a lot of resources to insignificant risks, but we prioritize significant risks. This is the same in terms of projects and their strategic alignment and priority for the organization. And about resource capacity and resource optimization, this is nowadays achieved via planning tools such as Microsoft Project, which we are going to cover in this module. This is just to ensure that you are not in the conflict and the tools that you have planned, resources that you have planned to implement the project are actually there for you to use them. Portfolio balancing. Portfolio balancing is about holistic approach. So holistic approach, in short, is about looking not on individual points of some group, but on a group as a whole. And when you're looking on a group as a whole, you are able to see the bigger picture. And balancing it means that you diversificate your investments to gain the maximum result. Look for synergies. So, for example, if you are implementing several projects at once, expanding in the new market and launching a new product, for example, you want to make sure that the new product that you're going to launch is going to be available in a new market, right? And it is going to be accepted there. There is a market demand for it. And risk appetite and risk tolerance of the organization. This is something that we did not talk about in the risk management sector, but basically it is the understanding of your company, or maybe you as a project management, of how are you going to respond to risks. If you have a higher risk appetite, that usually means that you are able to accept a lot of risks. You want to take them on, and that in return can promise you higher returns but higher losses at the same time if you do not plan accordingly. Low risk appetite means you are going to reduce and avoid all the risks possible. And risk tolerance is about how you can withstand your risks. Managing project dependencies. This is, I talked about it before. It's about looking at the individual projects and looking at how they can affect with each other. Once you identify such dependencies, you need to establish communication channels between teams of the project, between customers, to make sure that dependencies are coordinated and alignment is there. And you also need a plan for potential delays or changes in one project that could affect dependent project. An example that I can give you from my personal work experience is working on a IT project that was about planning for IT infrastructure for a factory, and it later was transformed into program because we needed to plan the production on several levels, like shop level, factory level, whole organization level. And we made sure that these project dependencies are clear to everyone and that everybody can work with each other's result. Okay. About quantitative and qualitative metrics for portfolio performance, apart from return on investment that we talked about, there is a net present value. This is also a very important metric. It's a little bit harder to understand than return on investment, but basically you can think about it this way. If you have $10 right now, you have several options. You can keep it, you can invest it in a bank, and you can invest it in a project. And net present value is a tool that allows you to calculate the value of the project in the future and compare it to the current financial status. So, for example, you have $10, you can put it in a bank for 2% return, right? And at the same time, if you consider inflation, it may be better just to keep these dollars right now and spend it right now. On the other hand, if you implement a project and the return on this project is less than 1%, it is worse than investing in a bank account, right? So net present value is about calculating the value of the project if the returns are better than the alternatives, and this is a very good indicator to show you that the project should move forward. Project completion rate is a little bit less mathematical. It's tracking the percentage of projects completed successfully within budget and schedule. This is like a KPI for project managers and senior management. And customer satisfaction is even less tangible thing. Like some companies now even have several customer success departments. It's about measuring customer satisfaction with the outcomes and deliverables of the portfolio projects. So you can think about return on investment. Net present value is a strictly financial, mathematical things. For you, project completion rate is like a management metric, and customer satisfaction is a global metric. A case study for this is Apple's product portfolio management. Apple's portfolio management approach is focused on continuous innovation, delivering groundbreaking products that disrupt markets, and Apple prioritizes customer needs and preferences in its product development and portfolio decision, right? So Apple is famous for the interface being very simple and easy to understand, and all their products that can be considered as several separate projects, they revolve around this customer-centric strategy. Right, let's talk about project management tools. Microsoft Project is a comprehensive project management software for planning, scheduling, and tracking projects. This is a very, very useful tool. I personally like it very much. I use it all the time. And let me show you how it looks. Just a moment. Sorry. Yeah, sample plan. This is the sample plan for a project. You should be able to understand it if you grasp the concepts I talked about. This is a work breakdown structure of a plan. These are dates and durations of projects, and these are dependencies. So basically, you can see that this task can be done only after this task is completed. This task milestone achieved only after we did the tasks 5 and 6, and so on and so on. By using this, we have a Gantt chart, so-called. This is a very good tool for visual representation of the project. You can also have a timeline for the most essential projects to easily visualize the most necessary things. For Gantt chart and Microsoft project, it is also essential to understand the concept of a critical path and critical tasks. You can see there is a critical tasks stick, and we highlighted in red all the critical tasks. And what does it mean? It means that these tasks are critical, and if they are not completed on time, the entire project is going to be delayed, right? Because they are on the critical path. On the other hand, if we are looking at blue tasks, they are not critical. We have room for delay. If we delay these tasks, the project overall is not going to be affected. It's still bad, but it's good. It's better than the critical task delaying. This is what project management Microsoft project is about. You combine the work breakdown structure, you lay out the durations, you lay out the dependencies, you build the Gantt chart, and you have yourself a plan. And after that, you track the completion. Here are the basic percentages for completing the tasks. Project also allows you to calculate the overall percentage completion of the project, which is very good. And it can also help you to run several different scenarios. And as for resource allocation, you have a resource sheet where we list all the workers. You can also have like different resources, for example, laptops, I don't know, construction materials, and so on. In advanced techniques, you can calculate the daily hours. You can calculate how much everything costs. You assign resources to the Gantt chart. As you can see, worker 1, worker 2, worker 3. If I assign worker on a task and he is already busy somewhere else, the project will tell me that there is a resource conflict and will propose me solutions on how to solve it. Move dates, change workers, and so on and so on. So yeah, basically this is the entire waterfall, at least project management methodology, in one convenient package. It's fairly easy to understand, but only if you understand project management techniques. There are a lot of useful things, such as, for example, you can take into account working time. You can put holidays. You can put vacations of your people to take it into account when you are planning your project, and so on, so on. So basically, everything you can think about that can happen on the project, you can do it here. All right, Jira. Jira is an agile tool. Well, at least it's more often than not used in agile methodologies and in IT. This is a tool for the software engineers to keep track of the tasks that they are at hand. It's a all-in-one solution for planning sprints, for software engineers to be able to report their results, for customers to log in their complaints or proposals, so-called tickets, that Scrum Master, project management manager is later distributes around everyone and controls the progress of sprint. Jira is very widespread, very popular, and what is important, highly customizable. And any project can be tailored exactly to what you need to do. Trello is a little bit simpler and it's more about communication. While Jira is about tracking progress, Trello is about communicating between different parts of the team by keeping Kanban board, visualizing workflows, and this is a tool that allows to keep everyone informed. Also very useful. And Asana, this is a collaboration platform. It is useful for sharing files. It is useful for working together on something. So, for example, now with the remote work, it's very useful to use Asana to do diagrams, workflows, work on the documentation, so on and so on. And you see there is a shape of a pyramid. It basically means that Microsoft project is a very high-end planning. And after that, you go and go and go lower and lower. In Jira, you are not on high end, but still like a senior level planning. Trello is a day-to-day communication, and Asana is day-to-day work. We talked about Gantt chart. I will show it to you once again. It's tasks laid on a timeline and that shows dependencies between each other and that allows to visualize workflow. Resource management, it's about allocation of resources, availability tracking and managing resource conflicts. And project tracking is about percentages and overall completing of the project. We discussed it. Yeah, so if you want to do the work breakdown structure effectively, it's necessary to make your tasks simple, short, and have as much information as you can about them, about the duration, dependencies, and resources. Visual representation is about Gantt chart, and clear communication is about streamlining your Gantt chart and making sure that it is not like a mess, basically, making it neat and tidy. Baseline planning is very useful at the starting at the project stage. You do the project, you can save it in the Microsoft project as a baseline, and then you can compare all the changes that you did to your project to this baseline to see how much you've come in terms of dates and what you plan to do and what you are actually doing. We discussed critical path analysis and resource allocation and tracking as well. Jira, Trello, Asana, yes, they are Kanban tools. Jira is more technical for IT specialists. Trello is a very collaborative-like thing. It's very intuitive. It's very useful on a mobile phone, personal for me. And Asana is a more comprehensive thing for building things together, right? You know, if, for example, you are collaborating for with a cross-functional team on a large-scale project, Asana is very useful. When you are implementing Jira, you want to create projects, define workflows, and configure sprints for agile development. Basically, the same process as for Microsoft Project, but in an agile context. Yeah, and each ticket in Jira, it has several steps. You can track issues. For example, the new ticket has been accepted, has been worked on, it has been sent for approval, it was denied, it is in review, it has been accepted, and so on and so on. And by teaching your team to work with this tool, you can do analytics, and this is very useful for an overall portfolio management. Trello is about Kanban boards, also about task management, but not in such a comprehensive way as Jira. Jira is more about IT. Trello is good for management, project management, for people with not technical background, but for technical background as well. But it's just a very easy to grasp instrument. And Asana works in workspaces, so-called. Microsoft Teams is similar in this regard. You are doing several workspaces, several things to work on based on their meaning. And there you improve team collaboration and you break down complex projects into manageable steps. Integrated tool ecosystems. Large companies like this sort of thing to ensure synergy. A lot of companies have CRM, customer relationship management system. It's for salespeople mostly to track their interactions, leads, closing the contracts, and so on. And ERP is enterprise resource planning. That's more an accountant sort of things, but also very useful. And I have personally worked on the things that used ERP, and it was integrated, for example, with HR to allocate resources of the company for work trips, right? Or to provide information for salespeople in their CRM about the capabilities of the organization, or implementing the planning software so that it can use the data from ERP and CRM system. This is what is it about. A lot of these products today, for example, IBP, the one that I know of, integrated business planning, it uses dashboards and reports to visualize project data automatically. And that is very good for management, and it's used very widely. Project performance metrics, data-driven decision-making, continuous improvements. People are also using things like Power BI, using dashboards, as I talked today, and data analytics helps make decisions. That's like a no-brainer, and it helps to identify areas of improvement and optimize resource allocation. When we're talking about project success, this is about scope and requirements, budget and schedule, quality and performance, and stakeholder satisfaction. This is basically ensuring that project is delivered to the scope, to the requirements, within the boundaries, and to the requested quality, and the customer or the stakeholder is still satisfied with it. And pilot project is real world implementation strategy. For example, you want to launch a new system for all your factories, but you are first doing a pilot project, pilot run. You implement the project in just one factory and see how it goes. If it is successful, you go and roll out the whole thing. Change management and continuous improvement are the topics that we covered before. Now, project management, as always, faces new challenges, mainly in artificial intelligence, remote work and collaboration, and agile and hybrid approaches. But I would say, apart from AI, remote work and collaboration has proven itself to be very effective. And agile and hybrid approaches, especially hybrid, are very widespread right now. This is a reality. What project AI is going to make to project management in a few years, I don't know personally. I don't want to make any predictions on it, but I think it can also be a very useful tool, especially for planning and risk management. You can visit these places in the internet to learn more about project management. And this is the materials for external reading. Yeah, so thank you everybody for your time. I will see you in the next lecture. I hope it has been beneficial for you.